Have you ever had a tattoo session that just seemed a little bit more difficult than it seemed like it should have been? Maybe you got lightheaded or sick to your stomach. Maybe you even passed out. Maybe it was just that you feel like you should have been able to deal with more pain than you actually could in the moment. Well, what we're going to do on today's episode is go over some tips and tricks on how to prepare for your next tattoo session to make it as easy as possible. So stick around. What's up, everybody? This is the Art of the Flying Eye Podcast. I'm Shayne Simmons, and on today's episode, we're going to go over some tips and tricks on how to prepare for your tattoo session to make things as easy as we can for you. Number one, just stay hydrated. Make sure that you bring something that's actually going to hydrate you. Don't load up on energy drinks and coffee and a bunch of stuff that's going to make you jittery before your tattoo session. Just drink water. Staying well hydrated will definitely improve the quality of your skin to make it easier for your tattoo artist to work on your tattoo, and it'll definitely make the entire healing process quite a bit easier after you get your tattoo done. Number two, it's not absolutely important that you take care of this, because with my tattoo sessions, I have to make sure that there's no hair in the way. Even if you tell me that you shave, you may have missed a spot, and I do have to make sure of that beforehand so I'm not tattooing over it. So I do make sure every time anyways. But if you want to be nice to your tattoo artist, it's definitely a good idea to shave any areas that have any significant hair. Just a single pass to kind of get the majority of it off makes it a lot easier for your artist when you go to sit down for your tattoo. Number three, eat well and make sure to bring snacks, especially if you're going to have a long tattoo session. For at least a day before you get your tattoo, it's a good idea to start eating well if you don't already. You definitely want a balanced meal right before your tattoo session, especially. It may feel like you shouldn't eat, like maybe you're afraid that you're going to get sick to your stomach and it might make you throw up if you eat or something like that, because everybody hears all those crazy stories about their like stupid uncle that like ate a bunch of tacos before a tattoo and ended up hurling all over the place. Yeah, just totally disregard all of that stuff. You definitely want to eat a good meal before your tattoo. You definitely need to fuel up. It seems like you're not doing much. You're maybe sitting there or laying there just getting tattooed on, but your body is really working overtime to deal with all of that pain. Like, it realizes that it's being injured and it's trying to take care of all of that stuff, and your body's kind of going into overtime. People tend to have a lot of issues if they don't bring snacks for longer sessions, especially because you do sometimes experience a severe drop in blood sugar. And it's definitely helpful to have something with a lot of quickly metabolizing sugar in it to kind of correct that if that does happen. So it's kind of a good idea to have something like pixie sticks or even something purpose-made like glucose tablets to raise your blood sugar if you feel lightheaded, sick to your stomach, anything like that. As soon as you start feeling that way, if you notify your artist and take measures to correct that by raising your blood sugar again, you'll be A-okay in no time. Number four is just make sure to rest up. It's definitely important that you get a good night's rest, at the very least, the night before your tattoo session. That way your body is kind of amped up and prepared to be able to deal with this pain and this trauma, because it doesn't seem like a lot sometimes, but your body knows that it's being injured, and it definitely needs all the resources that it can kind of muster up to be able to deal with that in the moment to make your tattoo session quite a bit easier. Number five, dress appropriately. What I mean when I say dress appropriately is wear something that is going to allow the tattoo artist to get to the area that you want to tattoo. Any discomfort that you're in, overall, is going to limit the amount of pain you can take from the tattoo. It's just going to add to your overall discomfort. So if you're dealing with having to like constantly hold a shirt out of the way or manipulate like shorts or like a bra or shoes and socks and all this stuff that might be in the way of the tattoo artist getting the tattoo, it's definitely going to kind of wear you out and lessen your pain tolerance over time much quicker than if you just wore kind of comfortable, loose-fitting clothing and something that allows for access to the area that's getting tattooed without constant attention to it. You definitely want to be as relaxed as possible during your session, and it makes it a lot easier from the tattooer's side as well. The more relaxed my customer is, the easier everything goes, and a lot of times the quicker the tattoo goes, which means I can charge less. Now, on the subject of comfort, a lot of times it is, especially on longer sessions, a good idea to bring I guess what you could call comfort items, maybe like pillows or blankets. Sometimes it's kind of cold in the shop, or maybe there's a breeze or something like that. And part of you is going to be exposed for the tattoo, depending on where it is on you. The rest of you might get cold. So it's always a good idea, especially for longer things, to think about maybe bringing a blanket or a pillow or like a sweatshirt or a hoodie or something like that, to make sure that you can kind of regulate your temperature over the course of the session to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible. Another thing along the same sort of lines is entertainment items, like maybe something like headphones so that you can listen to music on your phone or watch Netflix or some other streaming service, maybe like read a book or have some sort of like a game that you don't have to move too much to play. It definitely helps sometimes to be able to kind of occupy your mind with something else. So anything that you can focus on that'll entertain you, that won't interfere with the actual tattoo session itself, where you won't be kind of wiggling around and moving a whole bunch, can definitely be something that's super helpful in kind of diverting your attention away from the tattoo so that you can kind of sit a little bit longer and it doesn't take as much out of you. Now, lastly, this seems like an obvious one, but be sober. I swear, it seems like a good idea to maybe smoke that joint before you get a tattoo or do something else, but it is a terrible, terrible idea. Even like aspirin, or like some other like over-the-counter pain relievers have blood thinners in them, which will make you bleed a whole bunch. It'll make you kind of ooze, and it just makes the tattoo process tons harder for your tattoo artist, and it really doesn't do all that much to alleviate the pain of the tattoo itself. And everybody always thinks it's a good idea to like smoke weed or something like that before a tattoo. Like, oh, I'll just kind of smoke this and zone out. But it definitely does not work that way. It's definitely a bad idea all around. All right, folks, so I hope that this helps. If you have any sort of specific questions for me, do not hesitate to get a hold of me. The easiest way to do that is through the Contact Me page on my website. It's www.shaynesimmons.com, Shaynesimmons. Feel free to get a hold of me. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, believe it or not, and drop me a line. Definitely feel free to shoot me any sort of questions with anything specific. And until next time, peace out, y'all.